The Tower of London, located on the banks of the River Thames, is one of the United Kingdom's most iconic and haunted historical landmarks. Founded in 1078 by William the Conqueror, the tower began as a Norman fortress designed to protect the city from invasions and serve as a royal residence. Over time, it became synonymous with power, imprisonment and execution, housing nobles, politicians and notorious prisoners. Within its corridors and dungeons, history records torture, trials and deaths, creating a legacy of suffering and violence that, according to many reports, still lingers through ghostly apparitions and supernatural phenomena. Throughout the centuries, the Tower of London has become not only a symbol of authority, but also one of the most haunted sites in England, drawing tourists, historians and ghost hunters captivated by its dark past. The tower's paranormal reputation is closely tied to its long history of executions and imprisonments of historical figures. Among its most famous ghosts is that of Queen Anne Boleyn, the second wife of King Henry VIII, who was beheaded in 1536 on charges of treason, adultery and conspiracy. Witnesses have reported seeing her figure dressed in white or red, wandering the corridors, carrying her own severed head beneath her arm, a chilling reflection of her tragic fate. Other well-known spectres include Catherine Howard, another of Henry VIII's wives who was also executed at the Tower, and Lady Jane Grey, the 9 Days Queen, who spent her final moments there before her death. There are also accounts of anonymous prisoners, slain soldiers, and tortured nobles whose spirits are said to roam the site, particularly at night, contributing to its haunting atmosphere of fear and reverence. For centuries, the Tower of London served as a state prison, housing political, religious, and noble prisoners accused of treason. The dungeons, located in damp, dark underground areas, were scenes of immense suffering, where inmates endured torture, starvation, and isolation. Many reports of ghostly apparitions and disembodied voices originate from these areas, where visitors claim to hear clinking chains, desperate screams, and faint whispers echoing through narrow passageways. Some have described feeling an unseen presence beside them, as if watched by an invisible prisoner. The combination of historical suffering and supernatural accounts reinforces the belief that the tower retains the residual energy of centuries of human pain. Beyond its infamous executions, the tower also has a history of mysterious murders and violent deaths. The disappearance of the princes in the tower, Edward V and his brother Richard, in 1483 remains one of England's most enduring mysteries. Some reports claim that children's cries can be heard at night, accompanied by shadows darting up staircases and down corridors where the princes were last seen. Nighttime visitors and paranormal investigators have reported sudden temperature drops, chills, and doors that close on their own. Surveillance cameras and audio equipment have occasionally captured unexplained movements and sounds, strengthening the tower's reputation as one of the most haunted places in Britain. Commonly reported phenomena include apparitions of figures dressed in historical garments, guards, nobles, and prisoners, seen wandering the corridors or silently watching from the ramparts. Some visitors claim to have felt invisible hands touch their shoulders or gentle pushes, as if unseen forces were interacting with them. Others describe rapidly moving shadows that vanish into dark corners, or fleeting reflections of figures in windows and mirrors with no physical source. These varied encounters contribute to the tower's atmosphere of terror and fascination, making it both a historical treasure and a paranormal hotspot. The architectural structure of the Tower of London adds to its eerie mystique. With its thick stone walls, towers, inner courtyards, and maze-like corridors, the building creates ideal conditions for echoes and shadows, enhancing the perception of supernatural activity. The damp dungeons and narrow stairways heighten disorientation, leading visitors to feel a constant presence or perceive movement that cannot be logically explained. Tour guides conducting night tours claim that certain areas, especially those associated with executions, torture, and imprisonment, are particularly active with paranormal energy. Beyond famous historical figures like Anne Boleyn and Lady Jane Grey, many accounts describe anonymous spirits. Some visitors report hearing dragging chains, unintelligible murmurs, cries of despair, and footsteps in empty halls. The feeling of being watched is common, and many have experienced sudden chills, temperature fluctuations, and overwhelming dread in certain sections of the tower. These sensations suggest that the site not only preserves historical memory, but also amplifies emotional energy, where past suffering, fear and injustice remain perceptible to the living. Today, the Tower of London remains one of England's most visited landmarks, attracting millions each year. Through its daytime and nighttime tours, guides recount both the fascinating history of the British monarchy and chilling stories of hauntings and paranormal events. The nighttime tours in particular appeal to those seeking to experience the site's dark atmosphere and perhaps witness something otherworldly. The blend of historical fact, personal tragedy, and unexplained phenomena maintains the tower's status as an icon of historical horror, where the past and present intertwine in a deeply unsettling way. Even after nearly 1,000 years of history, the Tower of London retains its haunted reputation. Reports of ghosts, voices, shadows, and unexplainable events continue to emerge, fueling its legend as one of the most paranormally active places in the United Kingdom. For those who walk its corridors, courtyards, and towers, it is impossible not to feel the presence of those who suffered, died, or were unjustly imprisoned there. Each visit becomes an immersion into England's dark past, into its violence, power, and the supernatural, cementing the Tower of London as one of the most captivating and terrifying places in British history.